Hi everyone, Catherine here from Inky Fingered Cat. I've got a bit of well, it's a Valentine's card for my husband, and I had this idea in my head, and then I've eventually managed to get around to making it just in time for Valentine's Day. I wanted to use the pet collection from Kingston Crafts that I've still got loads of bits and pieces left, but I don't want anything to do with pets. Haha. What is amazing is this full 12 by 12 sheet you can see on the right there of like laser cut. I don't know if it's laser cut, but you know, readily die cut, already die cut. Is that the best way of saying it? Paper that just says love and has hearts all over it. So it is not specific for pets, and that's really what you need to remember about the pet collection from Kingston Crafts. It's not all about pets. Yes, there's some pet specific things, but they're not all about pets. And as I don't have a pet, yep, it's kind of handy to be able to do other stuff with it. So it also has that heart-shaped paper, so I wanted to fussy cut some of those hearts out, but I really wanted to use this as a background to my card, so I've just roughly cut the size of the card, which probably I should have measured and just done it on the trimmer, but it's just easier to do it by hand, I think. And then trimmed off the edges, and that I will raise up on some foam pads after I have added on my hearts, because I had this idea of doing a row of hearts and stitching them, but actually I ended up doing them all higgledy-piggledy, which just meant it was far more fussy than it should have been. And I'm also not the best at sewing, so please, please, please don't shout about the fact that the sewing looks messy in the end. I don't care. It's fine. My husband will like the card, I am sure. He will appreciate that I've made him a card. That's all that matters. And I did enjoy making it, but it was a bit faffy. So I'm going to speed up very fast the whole sewing bit, because it did include having to rethread the machine. It did include the things going on and off and on and off. So I have sped this up. So this is super, super fast and not actually how long it took. I think in total, card took about 45 minutes to make. So it wasn't a really lengthy process. But you can see here I'm fiddling because I'm just not great with the sewing machine. But I had this idea. I wanted to sew through the hearts. I've seen that on loads of scrapbook pages and stuff, and I just really wanted to replicate that onto my card. So it's got all the colours, and then, you know, the hearts going down and then the sewing going through them. I think that probably because I've speeded this up, you can't see quite how messy that is. But it promise you, it's very messy. Anyway, oh, of course, I forgot. I'm now going to, yeah, I'm still sped up, but not quite as much. I am going to put those adhesive foam pads all over in lots of different places. As you can see, there's quite a lot on that sheet. And I've got a whole other sheet of red ones as well. Chose red just because it's Valentine's. Why not? And that will give the dimension and will give like a lovely shadow effect behind the words and the letters and the hearts. So that was my main thought. That's where I had my thought, and then I just didn't know what I was going to do next, hence the big pause. So during the big pause, I went and found this Everything set from Altenew, where I have recently managed to buy the die that goes with the stamp set. But I decided to just use the die for the starting point, and I wanted to put "You mean everything to me" on the front. That's what I decided to do. I hadn't had an idea until that point. I knew I obviously needed to reference Valentine's in some way, which I do later. But at this point, I'd spotted this in my stash because what I'd been doing was rummaging through all of my stash, thinking, what else am I going to put on this? It now looks a little bit weird just having this little cluster of colour on one side and nothing else. So I die cut it, and I wasn't sure whether I wanted to do black or white or what. So I decided to go with black because the black thread in the sewing. Couldn't use it without the shadow, I felt, and so I decided to go with a glittery everything, but stacked up on the black with then the black shadow die underneath, and I decided that that would work for what I wanted. And the rest of the sentiment I will do with the heat embossing with white onto the black to create some little strips. So here you can see I am going to go and glue everything. Now I've weeded all my die cuts. I'm going to glue everything. Lots of tiny little dots coming out of my glue there. And then I'm going to layer up the two black ones first. And then I'm going to do the same with the silver on the top. Now, that silver glitter paper, those that have been following me for a while will know I'm not a big fan of glitter, especially not glitter that sheds. This one does. I haven't got much of it left, so I just need to get it used and live with that. Not only does it shed, which is the bit that annoys me the most, but also it's got kind of like a silky kind of finish paper on the backing. So it's really difficult to get things to glue and stick in place. So quite a bit of fiddling. No idea why I decided that even though I was videoing, I'd show you that I was doing all of the unpicking of the glue bottle, but I did. So here we go. That was the everything. And now I'm going to choose the rest of my sentiment. So this sentiment set, it has like loads of different things that go with the word everything. So you mean everything to me. Everything you do is amazing or something. I can't remember the rest of it, but there's loads of different sentiments that work. You make everything better. That's one of them. So there's loads of different things that you can put with the word everything. And then there's 2 stamped everythings. And then obviously the coordinating dies. So when I bought it originally, I just had the stamp set, and now I've managed to get hold of the die set in a sale, which I was delighted about. So I have heat embossed my little sentiments. I have cut them into little strips, and now I'm going to glue everything down. And at this point, I think, yeah, although I like it all being down one side, I do feel the other side just needs something. I don't know if anybody else would agree, but that's what I decided. I also decided that I obviously still need to do the Happy Valentine's Day or something to reference Valentine's Day. So I decided to do, again, heat embossing onto the black, this Lawn Fawn stamp that just says Happy Valentine's Day. And this I'm going to put on the inside of the card. But because I've got all that bits of colour underneath the black on the front, I think, right, well, I need to go and fussy cut some more hearts. So that's what you're about to see, is me picking 2 more hearts. Sorry, 1 more heart from the large set. And then I decide, I think what I want is also a little heart. So I'm going to glue these down into place. I do get this Happy Valentine's Day just slightly wonky, which is slightly annoying when I've realised. And then the Kingston Crafts, I don't know if they do this on every set of papers that they do, but on this one, and certainly on the summer collection and on the spring slimline, what they do is they do a pattern on one side that's a larger size, and then they shrink the pattern on the other side, so it's exactly the same, it's just in a smaller size. So you've got all the smaller hearts on the back, and so what I'm doing is I'm just choosing a few of those little hearts to cut out, and I choose to put some on the inside of the card and also add some to the outside of the card, just to make it not look quite so weird that everything's just down one side. I don't know. I don't know if I prefer it that way or not. I think I do. So I then finally decided to finish off with just some gems, some black gems, and I decided that was it. It's done. So I'm pretty confident my husband will like this. I'm really liking, I love that die cut paper. I think it's amazing. It really is amazing. So I can't wait to use the other 3/4 of the page that I've got left. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Although I am on the design team for Kingston Crafts, this was not one of the projects that I made for that. I just loved the papers and wanted to use them. So please do thumbs up, comment below, and subscribe to see more. Until next time, bye-bye.